Hey everyone, this is Uthris, and welcome to Let's Build Lothloria, episode 24. So in the last episode, I uploaded, the updated version to the Steam Workshop, and I was very happy to hear that Aaron from Last Stand Gamers gave a quick walk around and really seemed to like the structure and everything. And that's just something really awesome for me, because I watch a lot of his videos for space engineers and medieval engineers, and it's just one of those things where you don't think that would ever happen, and it just makes some people like me very happy to know that people like my work and want to show it to others. And so I'll just go ahead and do a quick shout out and say thank you very much for doing so, Aaron. And yeah, keep an eye on it, and it's gonna grow even more. So this is what we're going to be doing in this episode. We're going to be working on this battlement here. Now, in terms of how the city is kind of laid out, I'm just gonna sum it up here. This part of the town was kind of built first in kind of my head, and so they needed a defensive structure, and this hill kind of provided a natural spot for it to defend the town. And so this is actually one of the first battlements I would say the townspeople built. So it's going to have some wooden walls and then some stonework as well. It's going to be like a single-story structure with just like 3-story tall towers. So it's not like this huge defensive masterpiece, but it's just more like a fort or an outpost. It's kind of the start, an old relic of the start of the town is how I'm kind of twisting that and making it work. So, it's pretty interesting making something a little bit more out of wood. So I kind of threw together this wooden wall here, and I don't know how I'm going to do, I might do a couple stationary like little spots that people can get up on and look out. But most of the times people, I would assume, will want to be on the actual true stone battlements looking out over the town. And then it's going to have a little wooden gate in the back. And then also up top, eventually I want them to be able to like retrofit a small drawbridge from the main wall out to here, so if they're under siege they can actually resupply troops without having to go out the front door. And then if this gets taken, they can actually withdraw the bridge so that people can't use it as an access point onto the wall, which I think will be a nice feature. Off camera, I went ahead also and updated the farm, the cattle farm, I guess is what we can call it. So I didn't like the basic roof structure, and I added an upper loft area for this now, and a little lift to help get the supplies up there. Since there's no ladders yet, it's not really an accessible spot, but as soon as we have something to actually get up there, that will be added fairly easily, I would think. The silo didn't really change. I added a little extra almost like a feeding trough area near where the waterfall will come down and then turn into a small stream. Also added a little gate, and this uses kind of the same logic behind the main gate of the town. So this little wooden structure is going to run into the catch block and actually kind of get stuck, and then it actually causes it to spring back and forth. So just like that. And so this basically has 3 positions that it generally sits at. It can sit in the kind of sideways position, like so. You can walk in all the way and open the gate, kind of all the way this direction. And you can also walk in from the other side and open it outwards as well, and cause it to explode, I guess, if you hit it too hard. That's an easy repair. That was probably just my bad, kind of running into it a little harder than I should have. There was, until it just fell off, was a little knot up there so I could lock it in place and lock it closed. So I'll go ahead and fix that later. it's not really a big deal. I just want to show you guys that, you know, it's not going to be an open area where people can like just let the animals out whenever they want. It actually will have a gate. What else did I do off camera? I did some detail work with the mill just to make it look a little bit more used and actual functioning at some way. Some extra windmill blades laying about, and I also, I think, reworked the top of this. So originally it just kind of stopped here and then it switched, but I went ahead and brought the axle all the way up. It actually gave it some more support, which is nice. You know, it doesn't shake around nearly as much, and it just kind of makes a little bit more sense. Go ahead and get rid of that. That was like a measurement that I had to use. So yeah, a lot of terrain sculpting. You know, as you can see, I'm trying to fill out this lower valley a whole lot. There's going to be some farms on this side. You know, the mindset is this is once kind of a large floodplain for this stream. Since, you know, people moved here, I would assume they would like get it under control, so it doesn't really flood anymore, but it would have in the past. The river then goes, you know, deeper into the valley itself. There will be a bridge here at some point, and the main entrance is going to be right there. That starts the actual, you know, curve up in towards the city. Let's see. So yeah, just a lot of this kind of stuff off camera, and this new structure. You know, I'm trying to mix up some different types of defenses, and so, you know, this prevents pretty much any siege weapon to come close to the building. Also inhibits some troop movement. You know, the idea is they would impale themselves if they were too careless. So that's pretty much what we're doing there. And I'm gonna go ahead and show this because I think this is probably one of the coolest things. I'm gonna shut the main gates, and the way these are built, the destruction, I think, is pretty cool. I mean, we're throwing like a little excessive in terms of mass at the door, but I think it has a really nice, you know, effect when it gets hit pretty hard. You know, parts of it become see-through, and obviously, you know, the people inside would be in trouble at this point, and they can really see what's going on. And, you know, the armies definitely, you know, that would be coming into here would be really wanting to bust down this door and getting inside. So like, I just love the destruction effects that happens with this thing. And then once it's finally destroyed, it pretty much looks like this. I mean, one side's pretty much enough. You can open up both sides probably, just so you can push more siege engines into the town to attack the main castle. But again, this side will have a door as well. It's just I don't know, I just really like the way those break apart. It's pretty interesting, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and reload real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get working on this structure. It's gonna be a pretty interesting one, I think. So first things first, I actually need to clear out a little spot here, because this is how you're going to get up one of the floors into the upper structure. So I figured this would be a decent spot to start. And I'll just lay out those and throw in a door for access. Make sure it lines up here. Okay, and we'll have to raise it up. So this is definitely the only way to get up onto the upper level of the fort. Okay. Everything else is pretty much going to be sealed off. It might have a gate over here, just to keep it interesting. And of course, from the wall. But for the main part, this is kind of just how most of the troops would get up and down. I mean, it is definitely the fastest route, so I don't see why they would go any other way. There we go. A bit of a problem because I had to redo some of this, so I'm gonna have to delete the outer battlements, I think. Shame. You know, once you put battlements on something, generally it's kind of annoying to go back and fix it, but you know, it's just something we have to do a lot when we're constructing pretty complicated structures. So just like the fortification over there, they're going to use a lot of these little balconies. It's just extra battlements without actually having to build another tower. I think that's a really nice feature to have in these type of things. So we'll go ahead and seal this off, I think. Like so. So that'll be one of the main entrances into there, and we'll go ahead and build up the facade as well. So I just wish the strobe effect would go away at some point. It would be, you know, fairly nice if it could do that for me, but at this point I'm just so used to it, which is not good. I don't think it's just it can get so annoying for you guys, I'm sure, to see this, and then for me it's just an annoyance in terms of placing a block, because it's just inaccurate at that point. So we need a entrance here that'll keep it square. Same thing for this. Now I'm definitely trying to keep the thing looking a little bit smaller for sure, and just, you know, not as high quality as everywhere else. It's you know, it's just the original fortification. It's not really meant to withstand the whole brunt of a siege. It's just something quick that people built first while the other things were being constructed, and then it just remained as just a, you know, a little bit of extra in history of the town. I'm thinking there's going to be a small armory, just like for the small barracks. I'm thinking, you know, this area will have a bunch of storage in it, and then maybe an area up in the upper area. You know, it has a bit of a porch which can be nice. Just keep putting everything on here. This, of course, is going to be a little battlement to get onto this balcony for defense. You know, if they make it around this side, it is weaker here, but you're going to be getting shot at by that part of the castle as well. So it is a major deterrent not to attack this side. And then on this part of the wall, it's looking really plain. Eventually I want to put some structures kind of hanging on it and off of it. Maybe part of the really poor, it has some shacks. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My game crashed and I lost some footage, so we're back. The walls, you know, went up a little bit more since you just saw, but it took me a second to notice. And when I first came online again, after loading in, I just went ahead and laid out some new walls and dividing rooms, so you didn't miss much. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some height on these towers, I think. So I'm just gonna raise them all up by 1, and then I need to decide if they're gonna be tall enough for maybe having a window on any of them. And it might be a good idea to actually make one taller or shorter depending on it. I don't know. I'm sure you guys can tell me if something needs fixed. That's pretty much how that goes. And we'll throw up this little external tower here. I don't know, I really like the looks of this and how it's turning out so far. It just looks very defendable and nice. I really don't know how long I've been recording, so there might be more skips or that, depending. So I'm thinking kind of a main roof that way. Then this one's going to have a bit of a wing on it. And then same with this area. If I can just, you know, get it to place how I want, that'd be great. Okay. You know, I might actually turn this. Turning that might be a good idea. Like so. This way, and it's a military building, so we're gonna be using red roofing on it. Like that. I need to see if there's gonna be any needed extra supports in here. I don't think so. We'll just throw that on there. And that one. This, however, will need something. And I'm probably going to have to place this with another one of those round block-ins. And then we can drag out the top roof here after making sure this is capped off. Like so. I think this would do good to have another one of those round block ends as well. That way, at least all matches, for the most part. Entryway. And I'm getting a weird texture glitch here. Don't really know what's causing that, but oh well. Just keep building. It's kind of the motto at this point. Okay, and some more roof. Like so. Another corner. We'll just stop that there. There's more walls to build. Definitely an interesting kind of structure. I think I like it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stop here and stop rambling because it kind of feels like I am. And I'll be right back after it's all finished and we can kind of take a tour. Okay guys, this is the finished watch post. So this is, you know, what I finished off camera. And then it's missing some details, but I can do that later in between episodes and show it off probably at the beginning of the next one. This episode is kind of getting a little long. I went ahead and made a little connecting bridge to the main wall. This allows people to restock the defensive post without having to go through the main gates. It'll help a lot for sieges. And then also I plan on having it to where you can either destroy or raise the bridge. That way you can prevent the enemy from using it as well. So that's pretty much this area. Everything's fairly open. This is going to end up being a little storeroom. Pretty much there's just going to be a lot of storage here because I mean, it was an older battlement. They're not really actively using it anymore probably. I guess I need to finish the wooden wall on this side. Oh well. It's a fairly nice space, I think. I really like the lone tower by the kind of entryway. And it has a nice view and overlook of the outskirts. And it's definitely, I mean, like, these villagers, I mean, some of them, if they don't make it to the gates in time, they could probably run into here to get inside the city without having to jeopardize opening the main gates for them. They could actually take that bridge, and so it serves multiple purposes, and it's just really nice to look at, I think, and really kind of finishes off that side defensively. So I think that'll do it for this episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and thanks for watching.